Alright, so in this video I'm going to show you how you can add left-hand fingering to your score in Musescore 4. So before we go on, let's just listen to the example we have here. So you may recognize that as being the good old minor pentatonic scale starting from the 5th fret on the low E string. And of course what we want to do is indicate which fingers on the fretting hand to use to fret each of these notes. Now I'm going to show you two different ways to do this. One as indicated here, where it puts the fretting hand fingers beside each note on the left hand side, and a second way where you can locate them above each note instead. So before we go on, let's just delete what we have here, and then I'll show you how to do it from scratch. So before we start, what you need to know is if you want the left hand fingering to be added to the tab as well, what you need to do is right click on the tab, stave part properties, advanced style properties, and just make sure that this box is checked where it says show fingering in tablature. I'm going to do that for the sake of this example. Apply, OK, and now it should be adding the left hand fingering to the tab as well as the traditional music notation. Okay, so obviously what we need to do is anchor the left hand fingering to each of the notes, and an easy way to do this is just to select all the notes that have a finger in common. So for example, all the notes that are played on the 5th fret, I'm going to use the first finger for those. So with the control key held down on my keyboard, for those on the Mac by the way, this is the command key, I'm going to select the number 5, and I'm going to add the first finger to these notes. So to do that, I'm going to come over to the left hand sidebar and select the fingering palette here. Now if I go down to these numbers here, you can see if I hover above them, they are left hand guitar fingering. Another place you can access this is under the guitar palette, and again you can see left hand guitar fingering. For now I'm just going to use the fingering palette here. So I'm going to add the first finger there. Alright. Next I'm going to select all the notes on the 8th fret, and I'm going to use the 4th finger for those. And last but not least, all the notes on the 7th fret, I'm going to use the 3rd finger to fret those notes. Okay, so now we have our fingering added to both the tab and the music notation. So let me now show you a second way to do this. So for the second way, we're going to now position the left hand fingering above the stave instead. So I'm going to once again select all the notes that I want to have the first finger, and come over again to the fingering palette. This time, instead of using these numbers here, we're going to go to the numbers above them. Notice how it just says fingering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't specify whether they're left hand or right hand. I'm going to use these instead. Now notice how it's put them above the stave and below the tab. That may be neater for some, especially if you want these left hand fingers to be added to the tab, because to have two numbers next to each other might get a little bit confusing or busy. So this could be a bit neater. Again, I'm going to select all the notes on the 8th fret and add the 4th finger to those. And last but not least, I'm going to add 3rd finger to the notes on the 7th fret. Alright, so there you have it, the second way to add left hand fingering to both the tab and the music notation. So I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.